Hey y'all, iRick Guy here, and I wanted to provide a few quick tips for project management. Now, you're probably going into that new role. You probably don't know what you're doing. Maybe you kind of know what you're doing, but you really don't. So here's a few things to consider. The first thing I would do as a project manager is I would understand what the business, what upper management wants. You know, what's their objective for this project. Once you know that, then identify the stakeholders. Now, these aren't people that are holding steak to take out to the grill. These are people that have a stake in making this project work. So everything from technical resources to operations resources, all different types of skill sets throughout the business will likely be involved with this project. So identify the stakeholders. Meet and greet the stakeholders. Get the stakeholders' contact information. And once all of that is assembled, put that into a spreadsheet. You know, that's piece number one. So you've got piece number one, what's the objective? You know, why is this project underway? Number two, who are the stakeholders? Once you've identified that, then it's easy to map out the various components of the project. Meet with the individual stakeholders from an IT perspective, from an operations perspective. Meet with the various departments and determine what they want and how they can deliver the items necessary to make this project happen. So look at the project overall, but then look at the individual departments within that business that are the stakeholders. And break it all down. Make it simple. Okay, so let's say, for example, that we want to, I'm just trying to think of a fictitious project. We want to install a new drink machine that we can monitor the inventory by way of a computer. So in this fictitious scenario, there's probably going to be a heavy IT component when it comes to monitoring how many drinks are in that machine. But there's also the operations piece. You know, they've got to communicate with the vendor that's replenishing the drinks in the drink machine. Well, and ultimately we've got to get the drink machine. So, you know, which drink machine should we buy that meets or exceeds these requirements? You know, maybe there's a sales team. Maybe we need to meet with the sales team and figure out, you know, get them to do a little bit of legwork and see what's out there and see what the prices are. I mean, there's a lot that comes into play here. And, you know, once everything is architected, then you've got to hold people accountable. You know, there should be, as a project manager, there should never be finger pointing. The only fingers that point are people that are set, that are given a deliverable, and they fail to meet that deliverable by the specified delivery date. So that takes us to the next piece, which is, once we've figured out what the project is, the various components, the various stakeholders, then from those groups of people, we need to figure out the individual task. So, you know, one of them may be identifying, like we said, identifying the drink machine we want to purchase. So that would be one action item, and that would be the responsibility of the sales team. Item number two would be replenishing the beverages as they get low, and maybe even choosing which beverages people want. Maybe there's a human resources piece for polling the employees, you know, which types of beverages do you want, and the operations piece to make sure that it's replenished when it's getting low. And then obviously you've got the IT piece of communicating by way of computer, knowing how many drinks are available. So there's a lot of, you know, and then that information's got to be relayed to operations that's responsible for replenishing the drink supply. A lot of moving parts. But if you put it all in a spreadsheet and you assign names to it, and you just talk to that person, okay, well, you know, how long realistically do you think that it'll take you to deliver this item, that item? You know, let them provide the deliverable dates first. And if they're not realistic, then you say, well, you know, this project's got to be completed within a month. You know, your deliverable date of 2.5 weeks is really pushing it. Can we get a little tighter commitment there? And more than likely they'll say yeah. Now, as the project progresses, if people fail to deliver, that's when the finger pointing occurs. It's not finger pointing, it's just they committed to deliver X item within the spreadsheet by X date, and if they fail to do it, they failed. So, you know, the virtual finger points their way. You know, hold people accountable. If there's a stakeholder that's not cutting the mustard, get them out of there. You know, you didn't meet this deliverable. You're of no value for this project. You're putting the entire project in jeopardy. We're going to find a replacement. Business is business. If they can't do it, they can't do it. So find a replacement. Make sure the project, as a project manager, the success or failure of the project is your responsibility. So if it goes well, you're going to get a lot of recognition. But don't forget to acknowledge the accomplishments of all the various stakeholders, because it's not just you. All you did is brought it all together and made it happen. But it's the individual contributors, the stakeholders, that made that happen for you. So always remember that. Project manager, a good project manager, always acknowledges the accomplishments of the individual contributors. So keep that in mind. And project management's a fun world. It really is. Spreadsheet's your best friend. You know, host frequent, not too frequent, because it can make things counterproductive. But you know, host a follow-up status call maybe once a week. You know, when a project begins, maybe have several status calls, conference calls that week. But then once the project starts, throttle back. You know, touch base once a week, because ultimately you're probably going to be getting all of your updates as project manager by way of email anyway. But the conference call is just an opportunity for everybody to get together, discuss the status, and ask any questions they may have. And then as it gets closer to project completion, maybe ramp up the frequency of the conference calls. And it's that simple. Project management doesn't have to be a bear, but it can be if you allow it to become one. So I hope this video is of value. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. It's youtube.com/IRickSky. I'm an entrepreneur. I've got a lot of tutorial type videos. And thanks so much. Y'all have a good day. Hey y'all, iRickSky here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.